Lady from the 51st, Delegate Fleischauer.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise to urge rejection of this piece of legislation. I don't think this is the most important bill that we are going to deal with this session, but I do believe it has some issues that much of the time both sides agree on, and I urge rejection for ethical reasons. What the Court of Claims does is they decide cases where we have decided that there is a moral obligation on the part of the state. There may not be insurance, but we set aside a pot of funds, and one of the examples is Crime Victims Compensation Fund. When people are physically horribly injured, we set aside money, and we've compensated police officers, we've compensated people that have been beaten up, and someone has to go through and decide how much money they deserve. That's one of the things that the Court of Claims does. The reason I oppose this, and I understand there's an institutional issue, that we have separation of powers, that, we have three branches of government, but when we set up this court 50 years ago, the reason we set it up this way was so that when people came before the court, and I've been before the court, I had a claim once, they know that they're going to get a fair hearing. I don't think it's critical that we call them judges or commissioners, but I do think it's critical that whoever makes the decisions has insulation from interference, whether that be political or otherwise. And I understand they make a recommendation to the legislature, and the legislature can make political decisions when it decides what goes in and out of the budget. But for the purpose of this process, I think we should retain the selection method, and also the selection, well, I'm not explaining this very well. They have a term of 6 years. And this bill says they can be fired at any time for any reason by the Speaker and the Senate President. They have to be an attorney, they have to have 10 years experience, they have to have no business with the state, and they don't get very much money per day. And so we're going to say that these people who are willing to do this can get fired just because somebody doesn't like them on a particular day, or some friend of one of ours, we go to the Speaker of the Senate and said, I don't like this person, I don't want that person to get funded. That could happen under this. I think if they have a term of 6 years, they should have the term of 6 years. It shouldn't be something that could be interfered with tomorrow. So I think that it assures that people have confidence in the integrity of the decisions. So I believe that we should reject this bill. I think there are ways to find solutions to fix this if it needs fixed. I'm not sure it needs to be fixed, but I think there is common ground here, and I think that we should have worked a little harder on a solution, but the way it is written now, I think it is wrong. I think it impairs the integrity of the decision making, and I urge a no vote.